Well, here we are again. What are we doing today? Well, I'm going to tell you, but before we get into it, be sure and click the like button, subscribe button, especially if you're new to the channel. Guys, if you are new, I would so much appreciate you joining the Big South family. I'm trying to grow my channel. It's not very big, but you know, I'm trying to get there. And you liking and subscribing to the channel really helps the algorithm. And my analytics tell me that only 4%, as of right now, only 4% of those watching my channel are actually subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm not going to sit here and beg. I'm just asking you kindly and nicely, please subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out a lot, and I appreciate it. What we're going to be doing today, we're going to be starting the repair process of this Ariens Ikon 42-inch cut. If you haven't seen any of the other videos I've done on this, I will put links in the description below for those videos. You can go and check those out, and I would very much appreciate that also. I am your host. My name is Brian, and you're watching So what are we going to be doing today? Well, I'm going to show you in just a second the condition of the bearings on the front of this mower. This mower, as of when I recorded the video I'm in hell, the thumbnail said I'm in hell, it had 143.9 hours. Well, now it has 146.7. That was a week ago, so I've only put a little over 3 hours on this machine in 1 week. These are the bearings. Now I'm going to get off the machine and I'm going to show you these bearings and why I think they went out so fast. Well, if you'll, let me make sure it's in the shot. Yeah. If you will look at that bearing, it is a sealed bearing. It has metal there. Nowhere is there a grease zert or grease fitting, however you want to say it. And here's the surprising part. I will put a picture of a normal sealed bearing right here. You see how it's got the black ring around it? That you can take that ring out, even though it's called a sealed bearing, you can take that ring out and you can literally pack it with grease, put the ring back in it, and put it back on in the machine. This one, on the other hand, is metal. I have tried. There's no way, I hope I'm in the shot, there's no way to get that metal ring, it's right in here, there's no way to get that metal ring out. I'm making sure I'm in the shot. Let me see. Yeah. There's no way to get that metal ring out of there to put grease in it. Now, that's not the bad thing. Let me see if, let me point this camera down just a second. You see this tag right here? It says made in the USA. Well, the frame and the spokes and everything are made in the USA. They are fabricated in the USA. Certain parts of this machine are not. I had a lot of flack. I'm going to get back on the machine so you can see my face. I got a lot of comments on the very first video I did of this machine, and on my Gravely 452 is sitting over here to my left, that it has the same tag on it. People were telling me, it's not manufactured in the US. Yes, it is. It is the frame, the spindles, everything like that are made in Brinson or Brisson, however you want to say it, Wisconsin. Certain parts of the machine are not. Gravely, Ariensco does not make bearings. They buy bearings from companies that make bearings. They buy plastic grips from people that make plastic grips. they buy safety switches from people that make safety switches, and they get the best that they can possibly find to install in their machines. Not all parts are made equal though. I wish they had bought bearings like I showed you to put in this machine, but it's a cost savings thing. They want to get the cost of the machine down so when they sell it they can make the max profit. I get that. I'm in business. I get that. But what I try to do, I realize that not everybody's like me. I get that. But what I try to do is I look at a job and I say, okay, it would take me blah, blah, blah time to do this job. It would take the customer blah, blah, blah time to do this job with what they can afford to buy. Whether it be a snapper 33-inch cut lawnmower or a Gravely 452, whatever they can afford, whatever size yard they had, the size mower they feel like they need. And I try to take into consideration the time involved in the fall cleanup and everything like that to come up with my price. And I try to stay in a middle ground somewhere because I don't want to charge them way more than it should cost, but yet I don't want to cheat myself either. And that's how I come up with my prices. And what I do, and if you haven't seen my blades videos, you need to go watch those also. I'll put links in the description below for those. I try to find the best possible aftermarket products I can to run on my machines to save me money so I don't have to charge my customers an outrageous price. Well, guys, this is not one of them, but this is all I could find. Until I bought these just to fix this problem, and then probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to be purchasing those bearings you just saw on this video, the pictures. And what I wanted to show you was the reason why I believe these bearings failed so quickly. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but I'm going to get it as close as I possibly can. Can you read that? It says made in Taiwan. Now, I already said it and I'm going to reiterate it. I know that not every part on this machine is made in the USA. I'm not stupid. I know that. But guys, there are better bearings out there to be used than this. But this is what I got from the dealer. This is what they said it called for. So this is what we're going to put in it. And that's what we're going to be doing today. I hope you'll stick around because this mower has turned into a saga. And I want to take you along anytime I have to do repair work. And the reason why is because I want witnesses and I want documentation of everything I've ever had to do to this machine. So guys, stick around. It's going to be interesting. Now, what you're going to need is you're going to need a bunch of sockets and a ratchet. And we're going to sit down here and we are going to take this wheel and tire off. Got to find the right size socket for it. I believe it's a 3/4. That's a little bit too big. That's it right there. And it is a 19mm, also made in Taiwan. Let me see if I can find a 3/4. Not that it matters. It's for the sake of standard sizes. My dad hated metrics. I don't hate them, but I prefer a standard if I can get it. No, that's not quite deep enough. That is a 11/16. That's not the right size anyway. Let me see here. Nope, not quite big enough. Guys, you think, why are you looking at the size? Because some of these tools, like this one, they're so, this was one of my granddaddy's sockets. It's a Craftsman. My granddaddy died in 1979. So, that's not deep enough either. I may end up having to go with the 19mm. You know what, for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and do that and be done with it. I believe that's it. Yep, that's it. All right, make sure it's lefty-loosey. Now this is a carriage bolt. It's got that little square thing on the back, so you don't have to have a wrench, but you do have to hold it in place. And I'm going to show you the condition of these bearings. And guys, like I said, this machine's only got 146 hours on it. I should not have to be doing this. If you didn't see my other video, my Craftsman Z6400, I'll put another picture of it right here. This mower that you're looking at only had, when I got it, I didn't buy it, I traded out, but it had 149 hours on it. When I sold it, it had over 700. I don't know exactly the exact amount of hours, but I know it had over 700 hours on it. And it had brass bushings. And when I get this tire off here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me move these sockets out of the way. It had brass bushings in here. Well, this has bearings in it. Well, this thing's got 146.7 hours on it. My Craftsman had over 500 hours on it before I ever had to replace the bushings. And yes, they were in bad shape. The tires were beginning to lean a little bit, but they weren't completely shot. These things are completely shot. And the point I'm trying to make is this was built by Ariens Company. Ariensco. The Craftsman was made by MTD. They're the same company. It's now called Stanley Black & Decker. Stanley Black & Decker went in together and bought MTD. They build all of the lawn tractors and all the zero-turn mowers for all your big box stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, the Big Blue Store, Tractor Supply, Industrial Supply, all those big box stores that sell lawnmowers. That's who makes their mowers. Is there anything wrong with them? No, they're great for occasional use. But I was using that Craftsman not for commercial hours, but I was using it on jobs, just like I do this one. Now, I can't use this one like I did that Craftsman. If I did, it would be sitting over there in the corner somewhere. You wouldn't be able to run it. But anyway, let me get this center support out of here. Yeah, these bearings are shot. Now, what you have to do to knock these out, you have to, I've got a cinder block here. And what you have to do, you have to take the wheel, put it like that. I hope the bearing does not come apart when I knock it out. I'm pretty sure it's going to though, but I'm gonna pause the camera and get what I need. Now guys, here's what I got. I got a big flat tip screwdriver. It ain't no good. The end of it, this was my dad's, and he used it for a chisel, I think. And then I got my trusty 2-pound sledge. Now, watch you. I'm gonna take my glasses off here and make sure this tire's in the shot good. What you have to do is you stick this down there and get to the edge of it and just tap it. Then you move around to the other edge, and there it goes. Listen. And guys, I was putting grease in this thing probably once a month, trying to save these things. And I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but it's gone. I mean, it's shot. Yeah, see the grease in there? The reason why that grease did not get in there was because that thing is sealed with a metal band. You can't get it out, and the grease can't get in there. I don't care how much grease you put in it, but you can look and see the grease inside of there. And That is a poor design. Now I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to knock this other one out, and then we'll get ready to put the new ones in. All right, guys, I'm back. I wanted to show you something. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, if it'll focus on it or not. But if you can see that, that is the dirt, the grime that came out of that hub. And it's got metal shavings in it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's, let me get out the sun. You see it glistening? See it sparkling? That's metal shavings from those bearings. I want to make sure my finger, yeah, it's in the shot. That's metal shavings from those bearings. Now, why did it do that? Well, I can't prove it, but I have a theory. They used the cheapest bearing they could to save money, and as a result, the dirt and dust and everything, because there's no cap on this to keep the dust and dirt out of it. Thing is, it's right here at the deck where all the dirt and dust is flailing around. Now, I'm going to take the camera off of the tripod. I want you to see the forks on the front of this thing. They are bent. I mean, I didn't do that. I don't know how they got bent, to be honest with you, but they're bent. So I've got to, before I can put this tire back on here, I've got to figure out a way to straighten those things, or these bearings aren't going to last. So let me get this bearing knocked out. I'll get the new ones installed, and then I'll try to straighten this out, and I'll bring you back when I get done. All right, guys, I'm holding the camera now. I've got the bearings in right there. All it is, let me get one of these other ones here, because I got to put it in the other side. You see that flange right there? That flange fits right up against this. And all you do, you take a hammer and you tap around the edge here, and you keep going around the circle until it sounds solid. And that's how you know you got it seated properly. So I'm gonna get it put on the machine, and we'll see what it looks like.
All right, now I got my bolt, got the nut. Now one thing you want to do when you're putting these tires back on, you want to make doubly sure that your valve stem is to the outside of the tire. Now, let me put this thing in there. The tires aren't that heavy, so it's not going to be that hard to get the bolt through there. I say that as I struggle to get it in there. Let me do it this way. There we go. Seeing is believing. There we go. Now, like I said, that's a carriage bolt, so you just rotate it until it drops in place, and that's all there is to it. Now, let me get my socket and ratchet. The good old 19mm. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So we got to put it on tighty. Ow. And that's it.
And actually, the tire is, the fork's not exactly straight. Let me take you guys off the tripod so you can see. It's not exactly straight. It's still tilting that. It's actually tilting to the inside now. You see that mark right there on the fork? That's where the tire was rubbing it. But now it's actually sitting a little bit this way, which is fine. I don't care, as long as it, doesn't wear the tire out prematurely. So I'm gonna get everything switched around, and I'm gonna get the other side done.
bearing's installed, as you saw. Got the bolt back on there. That rascal's still crooked as crap, but I can't do nothing about it today. Always double check when you're doing work like this to make sure your valve stem is on the outside.
And just so you know, guys, the inner hub on this one was just like that when it was slammed full of grease. Well, where's the other? That's the bearing. And here's the other one. As a matter of fact, the cap on this one is so wore out, you can see the dirt inside of it. And let that car go by. And there's another one. Listen. I mean, that bearing is wore completely out. You see it's coming out the back side right there. But anyway, like I said, when I get to where I can, I'm going to order those. Even though they're sealed, you can still take the cap off of them and lubricate them. If you remember the picture, they're the same exact dimensions as this one. All right. If you've never done anything like this before, what you want to do, you want to tighten this up like that until it's good and snug, but the tire still spins free. That's what you want. You don't want it so tight that it's putting pressure on the bearings to where they won't turn. So anyway, let me get this thing loaded up and I'll conclude this video. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. This is a task I should not have had to do, not at this point in time. Do bearings wear out? Absolutely. They absolutely wear out. But this machine has got 1,100 and some few odd hours on it, and I've only had to replace the bearings one time. And that machine's got 146.7 hours on it, and I've already had to replace the bearings. Why? Well, number one, they're sealed bearings. You can't grease them. I don't care how much grease you pump into that, because of the design of the bearing, the grease is not going to go into it. The reason why is the number two reason, because they're cheap Taiwanese bearings. Am I making fun of those people? No, I'm not. I'm just saying the manufacturer chose to use a cheaper bearing rather than going with a higher quality bearing. But anyway, as I said, I found a bearing that will work in that machine on Amazon, exact same dimensions, and that's what I'm going to be putting in it later. And yes, I'll be making a video of that because I want these things documented. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it with all my heart. Be sure and click the like button, subscribe button, click the notification bell, share these videos. You know what to do. Just please do it. I greatly appreciate it. My name is Brian. Be sure to live big, live southern, and live outdoors. Until we meet again, folks, have a good one.